Welcome to this Get Started video for Medscope MRM. This is just a quick overview to show how you can enter the information and produce a report. You could start by adding a new patient by pressing this green plus here, or you can just go to your referral management page and then add a new patient by again pressing the green plus here. Just while we're on this page, the idea of the system is to basically take patients from the new to the schedule to the interview to the report to the payment stage. At the moment, by selecting this radio button, we can see all patients at all stages. So here are two patients that both require scheduling that have not yet been interviewed. We'll add a new patient briefly and then show you how to go about that process. You can select whether it's a direct or indirect referral and then basically have in there the date of your actual referral and the reason for referral. Put in the person's name. If there's another person in there that already exists, you can select the same patient or you can select a new patient, and we might just say that we've got a husband and wife here. The same applies to doctors. If they exist, you can just select them and they're already in there, and the same applies to pharmacies. So click next. Based on the referral, you can then add further adding conditions, medical conditions in here. Abbreviations are accepted. So you can just select adult onset diabetes and just tab through. Ischemic heart disease, heart failure. The system also covers symptoms and so on. You do observations in here, things like blood pressures and heart rates. And things like weights. Pathology can be entered in here. Standard groups of pathology. Medications can be added by trade or generic name. Allergies can be added here, or additional notes can be added here. There are two ways to schedule people. You can basically click on here and click schedule interview, or you can go up here and click the radio button for schedule, which will bring up a list of patients that are only at the schedule status like this, or you can go to the map view. When we zoom in, we can see that we've actually got two reviews in different places. We can actually log in here to this patient. We can ring them up. This is the spot that we're interested in, and say, look, how about Monday at 10 o'clock? Put any and basically she can be scheduled. Come back to the map view. You can then schedule anyone who's adjacent. Knowing that you've already got someone in there at 10 o'clock, you might actually pick the same day and pick 11 o'clock. So the factors are now scheduled mean that no one is viewed, but if you click on the all button, you see that they're all at interview stage. So we could actually just, at this stage, we can prepare any of the documentation we need, or we can go through and do a pre-interview analysis. So if I just go through, this is the information we'd previously entered for this particular patient. We can check it against the printed referral, accept the terms and conditions, and see what the system So here are some items that the system has identified, that they've got diabetes and they might have a high blood pressure, that they've got a history of diabetes and is not taking a anti-hyperlipidemic, and that they've got high lipids, that they've got a history of asthma but they've got no treatment. So these are all things you can just tick at this stage and basically ask about them as you do the interview. So let's just tick all these and put them in there in the interview form and just go to next. So you'll see that when we go back to the patient, the cogwheel has changed. We can print a claim form for this patient. Being a direct referral, it will have our details in here. I haven't put in my accreditation number yet, but we can do that. It'll have the information on here, and location of service will all comes from the information we have on the website. You can print an interview sheet. The interview sheet is a default format. You can actually give us your own format and we can put that in there for you. It puts in the diseases, a spot for other ones, any lipids or tests that we put in there, a checklist, any notes that you put in for your pre-interview analysis will occur here. You can jot down some notes. This is the medication list and you can write. Plus there's some spots to take notes, and the items that we identified in our list have come up here to ask questions about. Obviously that's all flexible and you can change that as you need to. You then go off and do the interview. Come back and basically mark the interview as completed by ticking this green tick. If you had to obtain or not obtain dispensing history, you can do that. There's more advanced ways of doing that using our system. We'll show that later. Once you've obtained information at the interview, you might want to come back and add in additional information that you have. Any additional observations that you might have had, any additional pathology, any additional medications that they're taking that they weren't didn't tell the doctor about, so not on the doctor's list, and any of the items that we actually have, you can actually put a comment against them. So they're actually not taking it, and marking these makes them turn up in a different spot on the printout on the report. So you got it. That's it. You can choose whether your interview notes and then basically after you resubmit the case, you might get slightly different findings. You might have found that the blood pressure is normal. You're not going to worry about that. You are going to put in something about that, but you don't like my wording, so you might choose a different set of wording, so you can actually edit the statement and save it. You can save it for every time the issue comes up, or just for this occasion. So that's what you've chosen, that one. You might choose this one. You might that was overlap. That's an overlap. You might choose this one, and you might choose this one, and you might want to add your own issue. And because you think your issue is more important, you make it number 1 and all the others will renumber. Again, this is a default report that I'm generating by just clicking the next button. And the report has the details on here, the issues that we just talked about. The report is in the structure of a draft management plan. The GP writes in here signs off and sends it back. Of course, this requires just a little bit of tidying up. The covering letter has information on here, a bit of stuff about the medical history, the medications, the pathology, follow-up review. In this case, the options for including this are all set in your account settings. So if I was to go into my report settings here and actually say, look, I don't want medical history or pathology, but I do want my notes in there, but I don't want the allergy. I want the drug names in this way, and I want the drugs in alphabetical order. And if I save this, and I go back to that report and rerun it, you'll see that it comes out slightly differently. So the table's the same, but the actual letter has some additional notes, no additional signs and symptoms. These are the notes that we added in. And again, this is completely flexible. It's a Word document. You can change it afterwards, or we can change the template for you, and you can have a different template, and we can just put the appropriate bits in that you need. So that's the basics of generating a report. Once you've finished the report, you can just mark the report off as done. You can put in the date that it was sent to the GP, which let's say is tomorrow. And you'll see that it's now sitting here at payment stage, and you can actually, the system generates claims and invoices, claims to Medicare and invoices to other pharmacies for you as well, but that's a different topic. So I hope that's been of some help.